Was based, for example, sleep is widely on First Bank of Japan could come negative rates more deeply in new routers. This one explained about off-plan monetary easing of the Bank of Japan, where possible the interest rate will be negative to stimulate the economy. This did that the yen was moving back opposite to the other currencies, mainly in the night against the dollar, and basically because the measure will be used in the commercial banks in order that this reserve used in loans to the real economy. And did that it was moving back because it's the first time that it would do Japan. We did a short want to take advantage of currency downward.
Well, the second transaction on the week was pound euro. The notice we used to make this transaction was pound falls against euro as trade responder dovish BOE statement. This notice was updated on Bloomberg on Tuesday 14 in September. This article refers to the pound's fall versus the euro, being this one the biggest drop in more than a month. The pound dropped 0.4% to 85.36 pence per euro as 5 p.m. in London, following Thursday a 0.9% loss, which was the biggest since August 4th. Since August 4th. Sterling swung between gains and losses against the dollar too. Jobs are the key indicator, and the data suggests the pound's 11% drop against the greenback since the June 23 vote to leave the European Union is helping the UK companies to stay competitive. So, according to this article, the influence of the unemployment rate and the Brexit made the pound fall against the euro, and that's why the transaction we decided to do was a short, and we did it finally obtaining gains.
The transaction was between dollar and Canadian dollar, was based in Canada stock TSX, rises as an energy stock gain. Reuters News. This one noted that the energy groups had risen 0.7 in spite of the fact that the price of crude oil were going down as a result of the rise of the dollar. Also, it was explaining about a high debt of the Canadian population in when it overcomes the GDP. We did a short one thinking about the possible currency downward about the trend because of crude oil price.
The fourth transaction of the week was euro dollar, and the notice we used to make this transaction for this week was dollar bulls face historical hurdles with Fed close to rate hike. And this article talked about that the U.S. currency reached its strongest level since June on a report showing about the forecast inflation before next week's central bank meeting. So the dollar paired its decline this year following the Fed's rate increase in December. While the central bank may find the scope for additional tightening in its quest for normalized monetary policy, the pace and size of rate increase look likely to remain below historical norms, undermining a relative demand for dollar. So the Bloomberg Dollar Spot Index, which tracks the U.S. currency against 10 of its major peers, rose 1% this week, touching the highest level since June 29. The measure is down 3.2% this year. The dollar strengthened 0.8% on Friday to 1,115 dollars per euro. So, according to this article, the dollar is getting stronger and competitive against the other currencies. In this case, against the dollar. So that's why we decided to make a loan for this transaction for this week.